Today, we're talking with Mary Greer.
Could you share with us some of your insights or observations on the differences between tarot practice during the tarot renaissance? That's the late 60s, early 70s, and even into the 80s when you and Rachel Pollack were coming up, compared with tarot practice right now among the millennial generation.
The present generation has tons more options. So when we first started out in the late 60s and 70s, that's what you were referring to? Yeah, there was you either followed the French continental system of reading the cards or basically some close variation on the Golden Dawn system. And more cards through the 70s and US games were based on the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. So we really had that imagery. They were close, they were being called clones, although they weren't really clones. They had different art styles, but they still were very close to that. So we had a narrower focus. Now you've got so many different art styles and people trying to break out of the Rider-Waite-Smith symbology and explore their own symbology. Crossovers with the oracle decks that don't have the same structure, so people are constantly adding new cards, additional cards. So people can feel freer to approach the tarot, I think, from an oracle basis. And by that I mean what some people call intuitive, and I don't call it that because the more you know about the cards, the more intuitive you can be with them. The more you really understand their structure and understand the symbolism, the more intuitive you can be. But that idea of whether it's psychic, intuitive, relational among all of the different symbology in any particular deck, responding in the moment to it, that's kind of an oracle perspective. And people can feel free to work that way or get into a particular system. But we now have those choices. We also understand a lot more about the history of tarot and can bring a lot more of that as another option among all the different options we have. At first, we didn't have that kind of historical perspective on the tarot, thinking that, oh, they come from Egypt and the Gypsies brought them and it was all this mystical mumbo jumbo. Now we know that it's really grounded in a culture and then expands beyond that.
Register for this summer's Masters of the Tarot Conference in Rhineback, New York, hosted by Mary Greer and Rachel Pollack. For more information, check out mastersofthetarot.com. Links in the video description box.